Hola amigos y amigas, bienvenidos nuevamente a este espacio. Estamos acompañados por un nuevo luchador que accedió al llamado y en esta oportunidad tenemos la compañía de Robert Martyr, luchador americano, puertorriqueño, y está en este momento haciendo gira en Japón con Marvelous Pro Wrestling. It's nice to have you here. Bienvenido.
Saludos. Hello. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. We want to do some questions today, discuss a lot about the beginnings of your career, what you're doing right now in Japan, also about what you usually do on your daily life and stuff like that. So are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, let's start with the beginning of your career. So can you please tell us when and why did you decide to become a pro wrestler?
So I started technically at 13, but I didn't debut until I was 14 years old. So I only say 14, but technically I started at 13 years old. And my grandmother, she is a huge wrestling fan. She loves wrestling. She would take pictures of the wrestlers, and I had a very bad ADHD growing up. I couldn't sit still. To save my life, I couldn't sit still. So they would try to do anything. They try to put, if they football or basketball or boxing or nothing. I didn't care. Cartoons. Pero my grandma, she would always put wrestling on. So AAA, CMLL, sometimes WWE, but mostly lucha. And that was the only thing that would make me go, wow. And I just sit down and watch. To me, that was like that was the start of it. I would always go to my grandma's house. I would always watch wrestling. And my uncle was a wrestling fan too. And he would send me, or not send me, he would show me Ring of Honor. He would show me Chikara. He would show me CZW. So early on in my life, I wasn't really as influenced with WWE as everybody else. So it's really just indies and lucha libre. And I watched Bryan Danielson versus Homicide at Final Battle, where Homicide wins the world title and Homicide lifts up the Puerto Rican flag. And I didn't know there were Puerto Rican wrestlers. I didn't know that was a thing. My only reference was like Eddie Guerrero, who was Mexican. And in my head, I'm not Mexican, but we're close. He's Hispanic, I'm Hispanic. So together, he's kind of like my representation. But when I saw Homicide, who's Puerto Rican, hold up the flag, I was like, wow, okay, so I could do this. I could really do this. And Homicide was like, I'm not related to him, but I know people like Homicide in my family, like my uncles, so I related to him. I was like, wow, I could be him. And that was the start. I was like, okay, I think I want to be a pro wrestler. But the match that made me fall in love with pro wrestling was Eddie Guerrero y Chris Benoit for Vengeance 2003 for the United States title. So that was the big thing for me, was that match. That was kind of the start of it.
I believe there's this special bond, especially for, you said Hispanic, also valid to say Latino. So
yeah,
when we see our representation over there, we get this kind of excitement, and we want to follow those footsteps. So that's very cool. Homicide is one of the best of his generation, and he had this very, very important run, very important figure for the independent scene in America. So that's very cool. Now going fast forward to 2023, I personally believe that was a very good year for you.
Yeah.
Also in the independent scene, you had some highlight matches against big opponents such as Minoru Suzuki, now that you're in Japan, against Timothy Thatcher, who also has competed in Japan with Pro Wrestling Noah, and with Daniel Garcia, former TNT champion of AEW. So how was the experience of competing in these big matches?
It was crazy because it kind of came out of nowhere. I think 2022 was really the year for me that where people kind of knew who I was. I wrestled Anthony Henry at Prestige, literally on the last day of the year for Restival. It was at the White Eagle, where they run Wrestling Open and Beyond Wrestling. It's a very historic venue, and I think we had the best match of the weekend. I would say we had the best match of the weekend. And Anthony Henry, he beat the hell out of me. Man, he beat the hell out of me. He let me have it, and it was a test, and I passed that test. And I think since that match, it was kind of like, here's this match, and it was a lot for me to handle. because that Anthony Henry match was really the biggest match of my life at the time. And then I just get hit with, oh, you're wrestling Minoru Suzuki, who was the first Japanese wrestler I ever saw, ever. It was him and Takayama in Noah. That was the first Japanese wrestling match I ever saw. And I was like, wow. So for me to wrestle Minoru Suzuki was I was so nervous. And it's still one of the biggest matches I've ever had in my life. At the time, it was, I'll tell a fun, like really quick funny story. I remember in the ring, I was stretching and I pulled aside all the camera people and I said, do not film me when his entrance is playing. Don't pan towards me because I will cry and I'm going to cry. So do not film me. And I did. So thank God they didn't record that, but they only got Suzuki. But I was like tears in my eyes, like I can't believe this is happening. You know, I hear Kaze ni Nare right there, and I'm just like I wasn't even in my body. I was like, well, this is happening because I didn't believe it was going to happen. I saw the flyer, I was like, it's not going to happen. I show up to the venue, I'm like, he's not here. I don't see him. And then I see him, and I'm like, oh God. So when I was in the ring, it finally hit me like, wow, this is happening. Daniel Garcia. Daniel, I've known him for a while. We're good friends, so we don't get to talk too much because he's busy. But man, he's such a good friend. He's helped me so much, and I was really happy to have that match. I really want another one. I don't think I was fully prepared yet. I still, as big as those matches were, especially the one with Timothy Thatcher, especially the one with Minoru Suzuki, I feel like those matches, they weren't me yet. I didn't know who I was yet. I was still trying to like get this all these big opportunities were leveling me up rather than it's Robert Martyr and this person. It was, oh wow, this is the biggest challenge of my life. Wow, this is the biggest challenge of my life. Wow, this is the biggest challenge of my life. And I would love to have like rematches with all of them to see like how much I've changed, how much I've grown as a wrestler. But I watch those matches and I look back at those matches and I'm like, wow, I feel like I got like 4 years worth of experience with those 3 matches. You know what I mean? Learning from all of them. And I still use all the lessons that I learned from those matches today. So very, very grateful. I really hope that one day I can come back to Prestige because I lost a loser leaves Prestige match. After my match with Daniel Garcia, I wrestled Jake Chris and I was screwed over by Sammy Callahan. And ever since then, I haven't been back. So maybe one day we can talk. It's been 2 years. 2 years since 2023. I think it's been enough time.
Okay, now talking about things that happened 2 years after that. You competed in the WrestleMania weekend this year in
Yes.
the title match for New Texas Pro. You were in Las Vegas. Also, the promotion which you are touring with right now was in Las Vegas. Marvelous.
Yes.
So, how was your experience, competing during WrestleMania weekend and in a title shot at that?
Nervous, not because of the title match. Obviously that's a big opportunity, and the Lone Star champion at the time is somebody I've wrestled a couple times before, and I think to me it was at that point the knowledge of me going to Japan was a lot for me. I couldn't really focus on anything that was happening. I couldn't really, not necessarily not enjoy my time, but I'm going to Japan. I'm doing my dream in a couple days. That's all I could think about. And I think that was where my mind was at the time. But I remember that match very well. It was Isaac Morales and blanking on names today. Isaac Morales and I can't remember his name for the life of me. But it was a triple threat match and it was really good. I remember being like, well, I only have a certain amount of matches in Mania weekend. I need to make them count. I need to, like, how cool would it be if I won this title and then went to Japan? Maybe I could defend it in Japan. Who knows? I thought that would be really nice. But unfortunately, I didn't win. Isaac got pinned. So no champion for me. And it's funny. I've actually never won a title my whole career. Believe it or not. 10 years. No championships. So hopefully that'll change when I come back.
Okay, you mentioned that your mind was on what was going to happen 2 weeks after that match. And
Yes.
in a sense, I believe that's normal. Going to Japan, from what we have talked before, it was your dream, one of your goals. So it's totally understandable. But, how did that become a reality? Touring with Marvelous in Japan.
So I did a marvelous tryout 2 years ago, 2023, around the same time that all of those big matches were happening. I attended a marvelous tryout. I did a couple of them. So I did. I want to say that was my first marvelous tryout, but I did a Noah tryout. I did a New Japan tryout, but I did a marvelous one finally, and I won. I won. I won the tryout. I was very, very happy, very excited. But there were some delays that happened, unfortunately, and it just happens. It was some delays, and um, for whatever reason, I couldn't come at the time. But eventually, I was, Chigusa personally promised me that I would be going. Like she made that promise to me. She told me directly, like, I promise you, you have my word, you will go to Japan. And it took 2 years. It took a lot of time, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful that um, it was a blessing in disguise because I feel like I just mentioned, like, 2023, I was still kind of figuring out what even my style was, because 2021, 2022, I feel like I had a firm grip on what my style was and who I was. But I feel like once I started wrestling bigger opponents and more important matches, I felt like something was missing. So that's when there was this kind of like changing period. And 2024 for me was a complete change. I was just trying things at that point. I was just throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks. It was a very I want to say regrouping period for me. So it took me 2 years. And once I got through that regrouping period and all of the things that led up to my time here in Japan, it was all on purpose. So that's what life has taught me is like, if it doesn't come right now, it's probably for a reason. And it didn't come. And I was very frustrated for a long time. And not at anybody else, but about myself, because I thought it was me. I thought it was maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm not doing what needs to be done to go quicker, or you get in your head, especially waiting 2 years for such a big opportunity. But again, I'm so grateful that that time was put to good use while I was waiting. Like I didn't just sit there and just be all upset because I'm not going to Japan. I used it as time to work, and yeah, now I'm here. Now I'm the best I've ever been. So getting that news from Chigusa, getting told you will go to Japan, I trust her, and I will always trust her, and she kept her word. So I'm very grateful.
And now you have been there for almost, well, for over 2 months now, or just 2 months now. So
Just about a week over 2 months. Yeah.
cool. So how has been your experience with Marvel so far, from that
Man.
first match till now?
So I'll go over my first match because I think it's really important to talk about that match because it was my first match in Japan, Kurikan Hall, a match that a venue I never thought I'd even look at, in my life. And it was my first showing, my first outing, my first time. All of it was so new. I flew in, I want to say May 1st. So I had just a couple days to adjust. There were some visa issues. I was supposed to fly in 2 weeks before, but there was some visa issues and I couldn't come 2 weeks prior. So I ended up coming like 4 or 5 days before. And man, I think about it now. I was so nervous. I was like, it was the most nervous I'd ever been for any match. Any match. Excuse me. Like, I would say more nervous than I was for Thatcher, more nervous than I was for Suzuki, more nervous than I was for any match in my whole career. And there was just a moment of just like, can't believe I'm here. I think that was most of the nervousness. And like, I can't believe this is real. I'm like looking at the walls, thinking that this is a dream, thinking that I'm asleep or something. So, I had to really like have a conversation with myself before my match. And it's like, you're meant to be here. Stop overthinking. And at the time, this is where kind of like the life experience that I was talking about before we started the interview comes in. Was I got so much life experience that I don't have those thoughts anymore. Where it was like before my match, like I was like so much, imposter syndrome. I was feeling that. I don't know. I don't. There's so many other people they could have picked. I don't know if I can do this. Like it was very bad, and you can see it in the match. And I'm happy you can see it because I'm happy you can see the matches after, and you can see my mental growth. Because in that match, I wasn't me. In that match, I was trying my best to give the best of me, but the lights were so bright that I couldn't be myself and be relaxed in myself. So you watch that match, and if for the people that want to go back and watch the match, it's still a great match. It's still a match that I'm very proud of. But if you really watch it, you can see like I'm not in my body. Does that make sense? So there was that first match, and that it really taught me a lot. And over the course of the next weeks after, I really started working on being mentally strong, like mental strength. So after that, man, I've had so many good matches. I've had there's a triple threat I really enjoy. My first time at Shinkiba First Ring, it's me, Titus, and Ryan in a triple threat. I think if you watch that match, it really was like the switch for me as far as like my mental strength and as far as like just having better matches and having a better showing of who I am. Man, I had a match, another Shinkiba First Ring match with Kohei Sato. Man, he's a legend. He's a legend. 0-1, former 0-1 heavyweight champion. He raised my hand after the match, and still a moment that like means a lot to me because not many people know about Kohei Sato, but the people that do know he's one of the toughest to ever live. So to get that respect from him, something he doesn't ever do, really meant a lot to me. And then recently, my match that I just had, the main event was Spark Rush and then Senka and Sora. It was that same show. I had a match with Ryan, Ayuma, and then Superhuman Variation, Superhuman Hero Variation G. Yes. And it was a great match. I think that was like my best match so far. So I've really, really enjoyed my time here as far as the matches go. But to me, the thing that stuck out to me was just living, experiencing Japan, experiencing the culture. There's one thing to admire it, but once you're here, I live it. I live the culture, and I love the Japanese culture so much. I love Japanese people so much. And every day we train. Every day we go for a run. Like today, we didn't go for a run, so we just went up the stairs 10 times. We went up the hill 10 times. We did a lot. So just getting into a routine, getting close with a lot of the marvelous roster, not specifically the Gaijin, really the Gaijin too. I really appreciate everybody who's on tour with me, but just learning about, talking and having conversations with Senka, having conversations with Aichan, having conversations with Fuka, the new trainee that just got accepted and passed her protest, learning about stuff with Mio and talking to Takumi, learning all of it and experiencing them as people and being friends with them, even though we speak a different language. It's very humbling to me. That's why I've been working hard on speaking Japanese for so long. I've really, really put effort into it. And now I'd pretty much say I'm conversational. So I'm very happy. They were laughing at me. They were laughing at me
they were
I'm learning
laughing at you.
Kansai, Ben.
Yes.
I'm learning Kansai. So it's interesting. Okay, so for those who don't know, there's a Japanese dialect in the Kyoto, Osaka. I know there's a couple others, but it's Kyoto, Osaka is the ones I mainly remember. I have a lot of friends in the hardcore scene in Osaka, and I talk with them all the time. And so I'm originally from New York before moving to Florida. That's how I talk. Even in Florida, like we have our own lingo, we have our own like slang, and I don't talk traditional. Does that make sense? I don't know how to explain it, but I was like, I don't know. When I was learning standard Japanese, I was like, okay, this is really nice. I like this, but it just feels like there's like a wall. You know what I mean? There's too polite.
Just too formal.
Where I feel like, yeah, it's too formal. You know what I mean? And I'm talking to friends like I would speak to a senior. And I'm trying to I know there's casual Japanese, but still, for some reason, standard even felt too, I don't know. You know what I mean? It just felt uncomfortable to me. So I was explaining this to my friend. He's like, why don't you just learn Kansai? Because that's like the New York slang of Osaka, right? So just learn Kansai. And there's been some hurdles, okay? Because I didn't know that Kansai, a lot of comedians speak Kansai. So it's kind of associated with like being silly or being funny. So when you try to say something serious, people will know it's serious, but it's like, why is he speaking Kansai then? So I've been putting a lot of effort into learning Kansai, but I also realized that keeping your standard Japanese probably best, just to when you're saying something serious, probably say it in standard. And when you want to be funny or just, talk normal with your friends, I can start using Kansai. So I think Takumi started, because I've been practicing writing Kansai. It's actually a little bit easier than standard to me. I still use translate a lot, but I've been trying to learn to write it and read it. It's very hard. So I've been typing in Kansai, and I think Mia saw it and she tweeted out why is Robert speaking against Kansai, Ben? And it blew up. Everybody was like, what the hell? And then Takumi retweeted that tweet of Mio, and that even blew up even more. So now I'm known as the foreigner who speaks Kansai now. So hey, it people like it. You know, I'm not doing it to be offensive. I'm not doing it as like a joke. I really am passionate about learning Japanese, and I'm really passionate about learning different dialect. And I don't know. I think Kansai is cool. It's very like it. The formality is gone. You know, it's just people talking, which it's very against. They're looked as like a rebellious. You know, a little bit just because Japanese people are so shy and formal usually, but with you know Osakans, most of them, especially my friends, they don't care. They'll just talk to you like normal. So I like that. It just feels more me. So yeah. Takumi was like, I saw her she was doing a live stream, a marvelous live stream. She wants me to cut a promo in Kansai.
Oh,
So
really?
funny. Yeah, she wants me to cut a promo in Kansai, and I'm like, I don't
Well,
know if I can do that. I'm gonna
oh, you
try,
should do
but I
it.
don't know.
Definitely, you should do it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
want to. I want to. She wants me to cut a whole promo in Kansai then. But she says she's true. She's right when she says like the sounding out, the phonetics are different. So if I say something and in standard, it's not going to sound the same. They sound out their words. They stretch their words longer. So I think I need to listen to more. I live in Funabashi, which is like right outside of Tokyo. So I would say Tokyo area. It's very different. Like even when we were in Nagoya, and they spoke even a little. I could tell they were speaking a little different. So it's just learning, learning. But yeah, it's really funny that. Oh, you know who was laughing too? Peps. Senka
Who?
was dying laughing. Senka was watch the live stream. It's the one with Takumi and Senka, and they have tears in their eyes because I keep typing in Kansai Ben making fun of them. So it's really funny. Oh man, it's funny.
Oh, yeah. Those kind of. I think that that's also because who you are. As you
Yeah,
mentioned before,
yeah.
people that haven't been in the states, they don't know that there are some states that are more, let's say, like more informal than other states. So
Yeah, yeah,
you have to talk maybe differently, like rather than the standard, more
yeah,
polite
yeah.
way. So, and
And I
also I
think
believe that helped
go ahead.
you to break the ice with them. You know.
No, no, for 100%. I think funny enough. So you mentioned that, right? When I started typing in Kansai Ben and learning Kansai Ben and like trying to study it like for real, because before I started typing in it, I was studying it already, and I only felt confident. Like my first tweet in Kansai Ben was written by me. It wasn't used. I didn't use a translator because I write so much, and I can't keep like one line. I don't know how people do that. So I see Ryan's tweets and they're like 2 lines. I don't know. Maybe less is more, but I just like to describe how I feel. When there's more, I can't write all that by myself, so I use translator. But for most part, I try to write myself. Hopefully, it's not broken. But pretty much, like ever since Mio and Takumi made those tweets, I've gotten so many people wanting to learn about me. So many Marvelous fans, Japanese fans. Like, who is this foreigner speaking Kansai Ben? Like, I got to know about this guy. Like, I gotta figure it out. And it's actually helped me a lot. Like a lot of fans now. I've gotten so many Japanese fans, and I think that was like the first thing. Because before that, I felt like I was kind of struggling to connect with the Japanese audience. I felt like I was harder to understand than Titus and Ryan. I think like Ryan is really easy to understand in the best way possible. Like you see him, he's a superstar. You know what I mean? You watch him and you're like, wow, I get it. And for me, I feel like I didn't have that yet. So I think, funny enough, as Mio's joke really helped me break the ice with the Japanese fans, and now I think they understand me, which is awesome.
It's very cool. And we took some stuff that maybe fans are not used to because they don't know like the wrestlers on a daily basis
Yeah,
so as much as we do. So maybe when you said that, yeah, the one that was like laughing hysterically was Senka, and people like take Senka for this insane young monster because of everything she does in the
yeah.
ring.
Oh, she's a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart. But like when it's time to train, her face like switches. I don't know how to explain it. It's like you see her outside and she's a goofball. But inside the ring, like I don't know how to it's like what's the best way I could put it's like she puts on a mask and it's like, oh shoot, now you're in the ring with Senka Asakatsu. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's very interesting. I firmly believe like She's the future, 100%. Like you see, I don't think there's been any rookie. I mean, there's probably has been, but in a long time, there hasn't been any rookie in my eyes that's gotten this much attention this early on. Like she's not even a year into her career. It's just so crazy how well she's doing. It's funny because she calls me otaku, Japanese wrestling, Pyorosu otaku, and I'm like, you watch it too. I catch her watching Gaia and All Japan women's wrestling all the time, but because I watch it, I'm the nerd. Yeah, she didn't expect me to watch it, and I told her she reminds me of Devil Misami. That's what she reminds me of. Her face, like she reminds me of Devil. So I should always make fun of her. I'm like, you Devil Masami Jr.
Oh yeah, funny enough, if people are in Marvelous or they try to be Marvelous, it's because they have been watching that stuff, 80s,
Yeah,
90s,
yeah.
20s. That's
It's so
inspiration.
interesting. Yeah, it's so interesting because I feel like, obviously there's a rivalry between Marigold and Marvelous right now about like what wrestling is. It's so interesting to see one perspective, because I am on Team Marvelous. I am Representative Marvelous. I am a Marvelous wrestler. So I subscribe to the ideology that Marvelous subscribes to. So it's interesting to see like their mindset on like this is what wrestling should be. This is how it should be done. And the best part about it here is that everybody wants each other to succeed. Everybody wants each other to get better. There's friendly rivalries, but there's no bitter rivalries. It's only people that like when we're running, and somebody's lagging behind, whether it's a trainee or it's a wrestler or whatever. They're always gambare, keep fighting, keep running. It's the same thing when we're doing squats, when we're doing push-ups. It's camaraderie, and I think that's the best thing. It's always a positive mental attitude. Positive mental attitude is very, very important. So nobody's broken down here. There's tough love, but there's no bullying or anything like that. It's so amazing, and I love it here. That's why, like I've tweeted out before, like I want to be a Marvelous wrestler. I want to be like I respect Takumi for having Marvelous on her chest. Like that's how I want to. I envy her in that way because I want to do the same thing. I want to be what that is for a gaijin or a male wrestler. So yeah.
Okay, it's very cool to know that you're having a lovely time over there. And yes, I know firsthand that the Marvelous has a very healthy environment to grow. So I hope you keep having fun, learning a lot about them.
Yeah.
But you also did something really cool while you were in Japan. You not only debuted for Marvelous, you also made your debut for Pro Wrestling Noah. You competed
Yes.
at Monday Magic, which is the
Yes.
show produced by Nosawa Rongai,
Yes.
and you had the opportunity to compete there in Shinjuku Face. So, how was your experience debuting for Noah?
Oh man, I couldn't believe it. I was so shocked. I was so shocked. When Nagaya-san told me that I was going, I was like, wow, really? And I was just shocked. I couldn't believe it, because I went in to Japan with hopes but no expectations. I was grateful to be in Marvelous. I was grateful to be in Japan. This is an opportunity of a lifetime that nobody else gets to experience unless they come here. Every wrestler wants to come to Japan. So I was so grateful just to be here. If I didn't do anything, I would just be grateful just to be here and learn. But the fact that I was getting the opportunity, I was getting the trust, that's the more important thing to me. So it wasn't just the opportunity. It was like, Tagusa-san and Takumi, they both gave me their endorsement. So publicly, like they publicly endorsed me in my announcement. When they announced me, they publicly gave me an endorsement. So not only did I get that endorsement, but I got the trust to go to Pro Wrestling Noah, a different company, and represent Marvelous. So, and it was great. The only week I didn't do was the first week. I did every single one. I did all four, 3 or 4. I want to say
3.
I want to say three. Yes,
You were
3.
3.
Yeah, 3. So I did all 3 weeks besides the fourth one. Man, my favorite matches actually that I've had in Japan have been those think of the first ring matches. Getting to be in the ring with Dragon Bane, the Alpha Wolf. I love those guys. I love those guys to death. They taught me so much, and it wasn't our first time meeting either. We actually, I reminded them like I met them. I met you guys when I was like 16 years old at some lucha shows. Like you don't remember me because I look completely different, but we've met each other many times. So they were very happy, very nice to me. You know, I made a couple friends in Saxon Huxley and Archie Cole. Like those guys are Archie's the future. I know he's already probably back in the UK, but he's the future. I think Nosala really, really takes to him, and it just learning, you know, because Noah notoriously, well, at least not as of recent, because they just added a women's division with the GHC Women's Championship, but before was a all men's promotion. So seeing, I'm a male wrestler in a Joshi promotion, so seeing the everyone kind of work the same style, and you have to be even more different than everyone else on the card was a challenge. And I learned so much. And I really, in my heart, I know in my heart I'm meant to be there. In my heart, I'm meant to be there because I always watched Noah. I always watched my idol, Ricky Marvin. I always watched him. I always watched Super Crazy. And just seeing those guys wrestle, and I just felt like, wow, I was a part of it. I did that. I did that for me. So now I can feel like, you know, I feel closer to those giants in my head, like the people I look up to. I'm climbing that mountain even more to get up to their level. So, very, very happy. I think my favorite one, by far, was actually the most recent one. The most recent one was definitely my favorite. All of them were my favorite, but I think the most special to me was the last show.
Yeah, I want to go further on that specific part. You guys had a match at the main event of the season finale of Monday Magic Primetime season. It was an inter-promotional match, but also people from different countries, from different beliefs, ideologies,
Backgrounds, yeah, everything.
backgrounds. Yes, and you guys try to share positive message in this, kind of complicated context in which the world is right now. So, was that something that you guys decided? Was it an idea that Nosawa mentioned? How was your experience during the match?
That definitely, it just happened in the moment. They just brought us flags. I don't know if this is something Nosawa had planned prior. If he did, I didn't know, but it just happened. And it was like hard not to be emotional. I was trying to put a brave face, but I have a lot of friends that are dealing with the current situation that's going on. I have a lot of close friends that are Mexican, that are El Salvadorian, that are Uruguay, Honduras, many countries, and they're dealing with it. And that was kind of like my moment to just be like, I see you guys, and I'm here. As a Puerto Rican, I'm very blessed. I'm very grateful because we're part of the United States. So we don't have to deal with. Usually, we don't have to deal with the trials and tribulations that a lot of Hispanics and Latinos are dealing with right now. So, for me, it meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to lift that flag, the United States flag, for the right reasons, not for hate, not for bigotry, not for any of those things, but to be like this. This flag means something. This is a flag where people of any background can come and make a life, So it was very, very emotional for me. I know it was emotional for a couple of the other guys, especially Nosala, because Nosala, he loves Spain. So you know that it meant a lot to him. He's been to Mexico, I don't know how many times. He's a Japanese man. So he, aside from his love of international pro wrestling, I think that's also kind of the theme of Monday Magic as a whole. It was like a beautiful closing of that season of Monday Magic, because it was like, this is what Monday Magic is. You know what I mean? But aside from the wrestling aspect, I think that he just wanted to send a positive message because I want to say the same day or the day prior, depending on the times, the America interfered with the conflict going on. So I think it was a big message that was needed to be said, and I'm so blessed to be part of that moment. That's probably one of the most important moments of my career. I say that a lot, but that was really a good moment. So I'm very grateful.
Yes, we actually didn't talk specifically about that before, but I think that we all, or most of us that watch the product of Noah, agree that that was a very beautiful moment. It was a very important message that needed to be sent, and I've been saying this a few times before. I love Monday Magic. I believe the concept is pretty positive because it makes us get together. It doesn't matter from where you are, your background, anything. So we just love pro wrestling, and that's why we are together here.
100%. I like Monday Magic too, just because it feels like a party. Feels like a little bit different from the normal Noah shows that are a little bit more serious. Like I love how engaged the crowd is. The crowd is always ready for a surprise. They're always ready to be surprised, and that's like it's the magic of Monday Magic, you know. So I really it's such a good environment, and I really like from the bottom of my heart. I hope I can come back to Monday Magic.
Okay, fingers crossed for that. Also,
Yeah.
while you were in Marvelous, we didn't talk about this, but you competed in the first show of Marvelous Impact, which is
Yes.
the men's division.
Hmm.
It's led, will be led by Leo Isaka, who is recovering from injury. From here, I send Leo a big hug and my best wishes. You know, we're sure that you will come back stronger. So keep fighting, buddy. And how was your experience competing in that show? And also, now that I mentioned Leo, maybe you will return to Japan. We don't know that yet. But do you see him as a possible rival? You know, you are both guys that follow what Marvelous and specifically what Chigusa Nagayo praise, what she believes in pro wrestling.
Yeah. So I think me and Leo actually got to wrestle for my first match in Marvelous at Kurikan. It was me and Ryan Clancy versus Titus Alexander and Leo Osaka. So, and we actually had a couple exchanges, and we're pretty 50-50. And I know in my heart that I know I could beat him, but he had the better of me that day. He had the better of me, and unfortunately, as you know, as we just discussed, like he got hurt, and I know it was really painful for him to be on commentary and watching the show rather than being part of the show. So I have so much respect for Isaka-san. I have so much respect for him. He's a warrior. He's a nice guy, and I feel like the obvious rivalry is Titus and him, but I think there's an interesting clash where we both want the same thing, me and Leo. The only difference is he's Japanese and I'm a foreigner. And I really, really subscribe to Nagayo-san's ideology of Nagayoism. I believe in that. I want to be a part of that. I want to be part of that red lineage that he's a part of. I get a little, I'll say, envious of him because he's had that. He's had that stamp of approval from Takumi and Nagayo-san and everyone that's in Marvelous. He's had that seal of approval, and I think I want that. I want that for myself. I want to be able to go back to the United States and say, I am a Marvelous wrestler. I am a follower and a disciple of Nagayo-san and Nagayoism. So I think there's a story there, and hopefully, if I ever come back to Japan, and I'm really, really hoping that does happen, I can have a match with Leo, and I can prove myself against him. As far as my match in Impact, it was myself, Kohei Sato, and Ono-san from he's from Eagle, and he's done Moto a couple times. Moto, a really good grappling indies I like in Japan. Very, very deep cut, but I really personally enjoy them. Kohei Sato, he is a former 0-1 heavyweight champion. He's had many, many matches with Masato Tanaka. So many wrestlers. And I feel like the Japanese promotion I really liked when I was growing up, and I was like, wow, that's what I want to do. Was 0-1. That was a promotion that I watched, and watching Masato Tanaka's run, watching Hidaka, watching all of those guys. It was really eye-opening for me. Munenori Sawa. Watching all of those wrestlers, Fujita Junior Hayato, just all of those guys, I would watch them and be like, that's the style that I want to do. If I ever go to Japan, that's how I want to wrestle. And the fact that I wrestled Kohei Sato, who's one of the toughest dudes to ever live, one of the toughest wrestlers ever. For the people that don't know, because there's some people that don't know, he is one of the toughest wrestlers to ever live, and he hit me harder in his later years, past his not past his prime, but it definitely starting to slow down a little bit just because of his age and the miles that he's put on his body. He hit me harder than I have ever been hit in my entire life. First thing that happens, he grabs me and he chops me harder than I've ever been chopped in my whole life, and I just have to keep going. And then he kicked me in the chest as hard as he could, and he dropped me on my head with a pile driver. But after that, man, he raised my hand, and he doesn't do that ever. Not for a lot of people. I don't know if he's ever done it for any foreigner ever. So I really really appreciated that. And man, that was such a special moment for me because it just felt like I got that seal of approval from somebody that really was there in the best time of 0-1, in the hardest hitting time. And I kind of like I use the nickname hard style a lot, and to me that was kind of the seal of approval I needed from a guy like Kohei Sato to just be like, yeah, you are.
Now I want to go a little bit outside of wrestling. I know that you are in a band, that you play
Mm.
music, that you enjoy music. We saw you recently with Mao in his
Yes,
band's
Miles band.
gig. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Dos
I want
Cuatro.
those cuatro. Yes.
Yes.
So I want to know about your hobbies, what you like, what things you like outside of wrestling, and what do you usually do on your daily life.
So, as far as the things I like, I really, really enjoy hardcore music, metal, brutal death metal, hardcore, metalcore, screamo, all any. I just say heavy music because it falls under one umbrella. Any heavy music I really enjoy. Um, a lot of bands I will recommend. People don't know, so you have to go on YouTube, and if they are on streaming, it's hard to find. So I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to like that type of music. But I love it. I enjoy it. I play drums. I'm a drum player a lot. Fun fact, I don't know if you probably know this, but a lot of people in Marvelous are also musicians or do some type of instrumentation. So when they found out that I play drums, that I'm a drummer, they were very happy because it fits like a glove. Everybody here plays some type of instrument. But yeah, I play drums. I do vocals. I don't say I sing because I don't know if you call what I do singing. It's a lot of screaming and yelling, but it's still a practice, something I have to put time into. So I do vocals. I really enjoy moshing, hardcore dancing. It's very intimidating when you first see it. If you've never seen it before, you're like, what is this? Why are they hitting each other? What is this? It looks like a fight, but it's not. It's a dance. It's something you actually have to put time and effort to learn. It's a very violent dance, and it's just the whole point is just a release of emotion. And again, like a lot of people, some people disagree with it within the community. I personally enjoy it. I think a lot of the bands really appreciate when you do it. So I do. I know, especially when my band plays, I'm going to want people to do it. So what else besides music? I really, really enjoy drawing. Drawing has been my passion since before wrestling. Been drawing since I was 4 years old. So I actually got new merch made, and that's my drawing. I drew that. So a lot of my stickers are my own drawings. Yeah, I love to draw. I love watching cartoons and stuff. I know me and Sora we'll get along over that sometimes because she likes cartoons and I like cartoons. So I really like old school anime. Like I like Neon Genesis Evangelion. I love that manga. I love Berserk, Dorohedoro. A lot of seinen, a lot of messed up stuff. I like that stuff. I'm a little weird. So what else? Just trying to give you the rundown of everything. I like baseball. I don't watch too many like traditional American sports anymore. I still keep up with basketball, but I like baseball because my dad was a baseball player. So I try to keep paying attention just so I have something to talk about with my dad. Oh, you see that? What happened? I really like combat sports. So I do, I wrestled in high school. So I did amateur wrestling. But then I transitioned to catch wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I'll grapple and do Jiu-Jitsu and train. I like watching it too. I like watching UFC. I like Muay Thai. Muay Thai, I love watching Muay Thai. K1, love watching Muay Thai. What they're doing K1 and they got one championship. Those are my two favorite promotions to watch. Boxing's cool. I used to box. I just don't like watching it as much. I feel like the guys aren't trying to win. A lot of the time, they're just trying to hold their record, so I get bored. So I watch K1 instead because they're fighting like they're gonna die the next day. It's so fun to watch. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty much it. I like YouTube. Watch a lot of YouTube. Watch a lot of wrestling. I have a couple favorite YouTubers. I'm a normal guy. I'd say as normal as you can be being a professional wrestler in Japan. So yeah, it's fun stuff.
That's great, man. But you mentioned a lot of things. So, like, not only for wrestlers, but in general, if you do a job, you have a like a specific line of work. It's better to have other hobbies, other interests, because if not, you will be just you can
Get burned out.
burn out. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So good for you, especially like when you have other things that you can worry about as besides wrestling. You know, even not even just hobbies, just people. You know what I mean? That was like a big thing for me. Was like 2024 was like just remembering that, hey, I'm also a person outside of wrestling. Like I have an identity, I have a life, I have a family that I need to worry about. And that was like the big thing for 2024 was like, hey, you should probably like get friends. Because I was lifting and training and doing matches, and I just realized like after a while, I was like, dang, I don't have any friends at all. I don't know anybody. My whole and it's also like you got to understand too is like I've been doing professional wrestling for like over half my life. So like I didn't have like the thing where it was like, oh, I got into it when I was 18 and then my friends encouraged. I didn't have any friends. All my friends were through wrestling. So my whole worldview, my whole like childhood or whatever, my teens or preteens, it's all was spent. Like I didn't go to any parties. I didn't go and I didn't go to prom. I didn't go to all the things that you're supposed to as a kid. I was wrestling. I was wrestling, or I was at the gym, or I was doing something involving any of those things. You know what I mean? So I ignored that kind of part of my life for so long that I was just like, we go try to have some friends. So I now I have people in my life that really make my life happy, and it's good to have those things outside of wrestling because it makes your wrestling better. I would like Ryan gave me really really good advice. He said like if your real life is fruitful and it's good and you're living for other people and you're making yourself happy while also doing the right things, wrestling will be fine. If your real life is good, you shouldn't pour everything. Like you should pour everything you have, but it shouldn't be the only reason you live. You know what I mean? So that's something I've learned recently.
and now your excursion or your tour with Marvelous, it's getting to the end. So when
Yes.
you return to the States, what's next for you?
It's funny. I don't have anything planned. I don't have anything planned for when I return. I did that on purpose. I did that because I wanted to focus on my time in Japan. I didn't want to have to think about anything else. I wanted to purely just put all my mental focus towards the right now. And now that it's coming to an end, I have to start thinking about, well, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? And as far as wrestling goes, I'm not sure. But recently, I've begun to start reaching out to a couple places and seeing what's next for me. I don't know if I stay in the United States for a very long time. I might be looking at a UK tour. I might be looking at a European tour. I'm trying to figure out what's next. And I hope people see this. I hope people see my progress and are interested because I really am in the best mental condition. I'm in the best physical condition. And in ring, my work in the ring is the best it's ever been in my entire career, bar none. This is the best I've ever been in my life. So I hope people take advantage of it right now, and I hope that I can work to many more places. So I'm sure, I still have a month here. I'm sure, I'll have a lot more to share and a lot more announcements to make by the time I'm ready to come home. But as of now, I don't really have anything, and I'm okay with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Just because, again, I'm having the time of my life. I'm having the absolute time of my life while I'm here in Japan. And eventually, one day, whether it's for Marvelous or Noah or another company, I will live here. I want to live here. I think I made that like decision for myself. Is like eventually I want to move here, live here for as long as I can, as long as hopefully I can get a citizenship. I would love to live here. So, yeah.
Finally, we mentioned that you had some big matches with different opponents from around the world, but is there anyone that you haven't faced yet that you would like to have a singles match with?
Oof, dang. It's a hard one to think about because I feel like there's so many people in wrestling that I would love to have a match with. And I think now because I'm in Japan, those options have like expanded so much of like, who could I wrestle? But if I had to pick one person that I'm like, I really, really, really need to wrestle him before he retires is Masato Tanaka. I think that's the one match that I need for myself. Because I know, he's been going hard and going strong for so many years, and eventually it's going to end. And I think I need that match with him before it's over. Somebody else I would really, really, really like to wrestle. I think Hayata would be a really good match. I would really like to wrestle Hayata. I'd really like a singles match with Daiki. I think me and Daiki from Wrestle Magic, we had those couple interactions where I was like, man, I think we could really, really make something special. Like if you want to ask me like a Japanese rival that I've had, I think it's him. Like we've only had one interaction, but like man, like we push each other. Like there was just something there in the ring where I was like, oh, I don't like you, but I like this. You know what I mean? Like I like whatever this is, this feeling that I have where I'm like, yeah, you get hyped up, you get fired up. That's like the crazy side of me. That's what I get when I'm in the ring with Daiki. So I want to wrestle him as much as I can. Like that match fired me up. It made me want to actually, you know what? That's my choice. I want a match with Daiki. I think my singles match with Daiki would be really, really good. If I had to pick one more, I just had one in my head. There's so
Just
many
for
people I want to
clarification,
wrestle.
sorry to interrupt you, but just for clarification, you're talking about Daiki Odashima or Inawa?
Yes, Daiki.
Odashima,
No,
right?
Daiki Odashima. The young lion. Yes, him. So, yeah, I know. I just remembered there are two Daikis. But yeah, Odashima. Yes, him. We actually, funny enough, we have the same birthday. I didn't even know that. He's March 14th. I'm March 14th.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
cool.
pretty crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
pretty
fate.
cool.
That's
So
fate, man.
that is fate, right? I don't know anybody who's March 14th. That's a really specific day. So the fact that we met, had a match, it's really cool. If I had to pick one more person, I really think I think he's has done some stuff with Khalid, but he was in Noah for quite a while. I really would like to wrestle Chris Ridgway. You know who that is? Chris Ridgway. He was in Noah for quite a while. He was part of Stinger with Ogawa, and yeah, I think to me, my opinion, this is no shot at anybody else. It's my opinion. Please don't get mad. I think he's the best in-ring performer in the world. I think he's the best in-ring professional wrestler. I don't think there's anybody better than him. When I watch his matches, I learn something new every single time. Maybe that's just me, and maybe there's a hard disagree on so many fronts. But for me, maybe he's my personal favorite. I'll say that. To me, he's my personal favorite professional wrestler to watch. So I think me and Chris Ridgway, I would really enjoy that match, and it might be closer to happening than I think because I train with Pete Dunne and grizzled young veterans of Zach Gibson and
Fighting spirit.
Zach Gibson and yes, Fighting Spirit. Yep, Zach Gibson and oh my God, he's gonna kill me that I forgot. I know his real name. So
You mean UAB? UAB.
yes, GYB. Yes. Been a long day. I just got done training, so forgive me. But I train at Fighting Spirit, so for them, they're very close to a lot of the UK wrestlers, and they know Chris. So maybe that's something that can, like something that can happen. So I would love that match. James Drake gonna kill me. I'm sorry, James. I love you.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to say JD Drake because JD Drake is also James Drake. So I was like, it's not JD. It's definitely James. So yeah, Zach Gibson, James Drake, and Pete Dunne are all and James, the other James, Rockstar Spud, or James Maverick from WWE. He also is there as well. So those are all my superiors, my trainers back home, and I'm very grateful for them all because they prepped me for Japan. When I told them I was going, they put me on a special regimen. I'd have to do more than everybody else in the class. I was doing squats, I was doing push-ups. I was training harder than everybody else because they knew where I was going. So very, very grateful for them all.
Okay, looking forward to any of those matches happening. But maybe if you
Yes.
finally go to Europe or the UK, like you mentioned as a possibility, that can happen because
Yeah.
Chris is lead coach in one of the schools in the UK. So
Yes, he
can
is.
happen.
So is Zach, like Zack Sabre Jr. And he's just became IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. So I think that's a match that's going to be definitely down the line. But man, he's another guy that would love to wrestle, Zack Sabre. But yeah, I think it's going to be good.
Okay, thank you for your time, Robert. It's been a pleasure to have you here. Before closing, do you have any message for the fans watching this?
Oh, yes. Specifically to all the Japanese fans, I want to say thank you so much for all the support that you've given me. I want you to know that specifically Marvelous Pro Wrestling, it means the world to me. Marvelous, it makes me better. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. It makes me feel like I'm doing something right because Marvelous Pro Wrestling to me is exactly what wrestling should be. It's love. It's fighting through your emotions. It's displaying your soul to the world, and that's what Marvelous is to me. And I just want to thank everybody for supporting me. I want to thank you for saying my name anytime I'm in a match, for laughing with me on X if I'm speaking Kansai Ben, for just for asking questions. Any interaction I've had specifically, I just want to thank you. And please support me for the rest of my tour, and hopefully Nagayo-san and the Marvelous office will hear your support and bring me back. So thank you so much. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you.
Arigatou gozaimasu. Eso ha sido todo por hoy, amigos. Hasta la próxima.